Hello, I'm FJX and this is an unpopular opinion, but I think the Nether in Minecraft is beautiful. And I know what you're thinking in direct response to that, like, no Toycat, it's not beautiful. Look around you, you can see just how ugly it is. But this is Netherrack being ugly. Look at this block right here, very, very ugly. Seeing so much of it makes the Nether look ugly too, but I know for a fact that the Nether is actually hugely interesting to everyone because the buffet world generation from Minecraft Java Edition is just replacing the Netherrack blocks with the blocks of a Nether biome, and people love that world setting. So I figured to prove this point and to make people realize how much they love the Nether, why not terraform the Nether, but staying true to its original shape? I'm going to be terraforming this section of the Nether between this portal and my big Nether superhighway, and I'm going to be doing it using the Nether's natural contours and terrain. I think using contours to describe the Nether is weird, but today we're going to be terraforming this whole section and making it look like the Overworld so you can appreciate just how beautiful the Nether really can be. And this is going to start, probably interestingly enough, by using stone slabs to kind of cover everything so that there is a minimum of one block that is, blast resistant between us and the surface. There's a few good reasons to do this. I mean, obviously this is still the Nether. No matter what you do to it, there's always a chance to get ghast to spawn somewhere. They might explode you eventually. And although you can prevent ghast spawning with a whole different bunch of ways, they might change it one day and a ghast might just shoot you regardless. So it's always better to be safe than sorry on these matters. So we're going to be covering up this entire area right here with some stone first of all. It's going to look a bit weird at first, but this is kind of like, when you paint a house, you put like overalls on it. What are those things called? But you put the big kind of scaffolding style things on. Today we're going to be doing that, but for our Nether and using some stone slabs. This means that no matter what we build on top of it, it won't just be destroyed and then reveal the Netherrack underneath. What will happen is if the block on top gets destroyed by an untimely explosion, then we can simply just see some stone below and like, oh yeah, it's stone below there because like in the Overworld, there's some stone. Again, I want this to be a really convincing kind of terraform. Like, you've got to admit, already even, it kind of has a very interesting effect. I mean, the gaps between it are kind of weird, but you can see how like, oh yeah, covering this up just even one layer up, and using a block that isn't quite so ugly, you can already start to see some of the interesting little bits between the Netherrack and the stone. Like, oh yeah, having a block that isn't always on fire and just... Again, the Nether is a mess. Netherrack is not a pretty block. There's a reason you'll never see a good house design use it out of anything besides pity, and that's because it's so ugly that literally stone, one of the most bland blocks in the game, it basically exists as the default block in Minecraft. Even having this on top of it makes it look wonderful. But yeah, let's go ahead, let's finish the, the stone placement, so we can move on to also, the second thing we need to do is start covering things in dirt. So every single block around here, we're going to cover in dirt just like this, so that now, again, you can see, we're starting to get a bit more of an overworldy feel. This also fixes the Netherrack problem if we just choose not to fix it, but we're going to be covering every single major block with some dirt, because we want this to look like the Overworld, and you know what you find in the Overworld, above all of your blocks, it's dirt. I mean, it's actually grass, right? So yeah, we're going to turn this all into grass, but first, we're going to place a bunch of dirt everywhere in the Nether. And I guess now is as good a time as any to mention the fact that, pro tip, don't place dirt in the Nether normally, because it isn't, ghast resistant. If it gets attacked by a ghast, it will explode. Not as much as a creeper can do some damage to some stuff, but it is worth mentioning, like, yeah, you're going to go through some hard times if you choose not to watch out for that. So I guess... pro tips of Toycat, watch out, don't place dirt in the Nether unless you have some ghast protection plan, and my ghast protection plan is mostly the stone underneath here. So now the majority of this area is covered in dirt, as you can see. There's a few bits we have to cover with still, but the majority of it's covered. It's one big continuous area, but we don't have any grass there yet, and we want some grass in the Nether. It would have made sense to do it as we go along, but I think it'll be way more satisfying if we take this one grass block, because grass, by the way, looks different in the Nether. It has its own biome texture for water and stuff like this, but let's take our grass block, let's place it down somewhere, like right over here, for example, and then let's watch it grow. Also, look at this. It's kind of like desert or savanna color, but different. But let's place it down and let's watch it slowly grow and take over the Nether. It's been like 30 seconds and it's not as satisfying as you might assume. It's going to take some real time, so we'll speed this up from here. So I might have had to watch grass grow in the Nether for about 7 hours, which is something that you don't often say you have to do, but here we are regardless with it pretty much finished. Most of the Nether is now covered in grass, which is a really weird sight to see, because there ain't grass in the Nether. I mean, they're not really a common mashup, so yeah, now you can see we've got a pretty effective, little grass covering the Nether, and this area already looks so much more like it's, kind of the Overworld, but now we have to start working on the extra touches, because even if Minecraft is covered in grass, as you've seen from Super Flat World, overworlds, it doesn't look realistic enough until you start adding other things to it. So let's go work on those details, because if we look over here, for instance, where the grass isn't 100% there yet, you can see stuff like this gap. We're going to use that as an opportunity to add some more foliage to make it more realistic. And just in case you're curious, this mostly involves going to the overworld and picking up some blocks, like for instance some grasses or some tall grasses, which can easily be gotten using our shears, just like this. So we're going to collect a bunch of these because we have some biomes around spawn that we don't really use or care about the detail of anyway, and I'd much rather take this and put it somewhere more useful. So now, as well as being able to place various bits of ice around the place, which we will do, probably multiple blocks thick, because that seems like it makes the most sense to me. So as well as, placing ice and other things around the place, because we can't get water here, there's a few other questions I have regarding what can you and can you not put in the Nether, because the rules have changed a few times over, history. And obviously, one of the other things is that they usually use a bunch of glitches, which people use to place things like water in the Nether. And if we're not using glitches, we're not using creative, exactly how well can we do something like, for instance, plant a tree? So yeah, we're going to be answering some of those questions right now. Let's plant a tree right next to this sapling right here. Let's place all of our blocks around, and let's see if trees can grow in the Nether. Oh, apparently the answer is yes, by the way. So that's some good news. You can grow trees in the Nether. I mean, again, there's no reason why you shouldn't, but there's also no reason why you should. There's a lot of confusing things like this. However, as you can now officially see, trees are a thing we can make in the Nether, and I don't want to have this whole place be a tree area because, I mean, that kind of removes some of the beauty, but I think especially over here where it's got some trees behind anyway, I think, or some hills behind it, we should probably cover those up with trees, I reckon. So let's remove these saplings, let's put them over there, and let's, have a little bit of a forest area. Because rather than having this ugly kind of red in the background all the time, one of the easiest things we can do is we can just kind of cover it up by having trees around the edges. And it also will make the whole place look bigger. Because pro tip, having like big uninterrupted plains, it's good if you intend to build in it or if you like having just a huge flat area. But if you want to make somewhere look realistic, generally having a second biome or some just rare details here and there, that will help you out a lot. Which is why we'll just have random ferns all over the place as well. Like, oh yeah, we'll have ferns all over, and then they'll group up over here by the extreme hills, because that's, or by the regular hills, because that's kind of where you'd expect it normally. So something I wasn't expecting is I didn't realize that zombie pigmen could spawn on like grass. I assumed it had to be netherrack. I mean, there's no rule saying that, but it's just one of those things you assume, So yeah, apparently we'll end up with some zombie pigmen here every now and then, which might be a good thing. So now all I have left to do is wait for the trees to grow, which, I mean, should be easy enough, right? You just stand here and then the trees eventually do something. And then also, we have to work out the edges and the bounds of this, because right now, it's an open Nether. All it takes is one of these ghasts, which I can hear right now, by the way. Maybe you can hear them too, to come in here and decide to destroy everything. I don't want that. You don't want that. So the best thing to do is define a very clear boundary of all of this, and I think that what we've done so far is pretty good at that, but we need a ceiling and we need like a fixed wall over here, so let's work on both those things. So I think the most logical place to make this external boundary is right here, because I want to have another cave here with another nether portal, because again, the ins and outs of this should both be caves, with the main area being open and kind of free from nether portals, because nether portals remind you of where you are, and yeah, this whole area is going to be the inside of a cave. So again, it's going to be stony rather than like dirty. It's going to be a fun thing. So honestly, this is my first real terraforming project that I've done in any significant scale, like especially this big in survival. It's weird that it's in the Nether, but it's kind of fun working on like, okay, this is the skeleton, we have to like hook this up to there and make it look kind of natural and, not like too housey. Because houses are meant to look artificial, the environment's meant to look natural, so the natural thing has lots of imperfections deliberately to look that way. So for instance, the natural cave will accidentally go in a block every now and then, even though it doesn't look good, because that's how natural caves are. They're random, they're unpredictable, and yeah, there's a structure to follow, but we want to do so in a very random and unpredictable way. I mean, even looking at this entire project as a whole, despite it trying to look naturally like the overworld, it's very much the most ridiculously fake or artificial, or whatever else you want to call it, build in the world, because I'm recreating the overworld in the Nether. Why am I even doing that? I'm doing that because I'm showing off, like, oh yeah, you can do anything in Minecraft. You can even do things that no one has any real good reason to do, and that's beautiful in its own little way. So the next step after finishing that cave wall is to work on the cave roof. This is obviously the biggest part of it, and we're at the stone cutter right now because we're making a bunch of stone slabs. One of the easiest mistakes there is to make when it comes to making a roof for pretty much anything, or really making any Minecraft structure, is to make it too flat. The only thing you want to make flat is a perfect replica of the real life Earth, hashtag flat Earth, but besides that, everything needs to be, curved in some way, because that's how the natural things look. So yeah, one of the easy mistakes to make would just be like, oh yeah, let's make a roof which goes from here all the way across perfectly flat, but I think what would be a smarter idea is to start it slightly higher up and then use this natural netherrack, like this formation right here, and some of the other bits to make it curve inwards from time to time. Also, just in case this tip helps you out, we're going to be using bottom half slabs because we're not going to be seeing the top of this. It doesn't really matter too much. But the really handy thing about using bottom half slabs is these bottom half slabs are not able to have mob spawn on them, which means that, you know, there aren't going to be like a whole bunch of blazes or wither skeletons up here, which means that they won't be able to disturb me or annoy me with noises or whatever. It's something you've got to consider if you're making something you might spend a lot of time in, and this will be a very safe place. It's important that in that safe place, you don't have dangerous things nearby that can mess up and cause frame rate issues, or even just annoying noises, or potentially even real danger issues. And so yeah, that's why if you look at these caves, from the outside they're going to look a bit funny. It's going to look like this next to the netherrack, but from the inside it's going to look perfectly fine, and it's going to have that nice benefit of not needing to be lit up, of not needing to worry about stuff from the top end. Because again, we've got enough issues from the bottom end to worry about without having to think about what it's like on top as well. And now from the underneath, you can see what a smooth texture this looks like, or rather, you know, like how naturally cavey it is, because it goes up and down, but it does it really subtly, and it does it contouring to the natural Nether. So you've kind of got a very Nether-influenced overworld here, which is what we're going for. We're not trying to build a perfect overworld, we're trying to build a very much influenced overworld, because otherwise we've just, you know, copied something. Okay, so everything looks like a mess right now because pretty much everything is now like, you know, 2/3 done, and that's not a pretty place to look at. Maybe I should have done one thing at a time, but I want to just quickly add in here a couple of days later that these scaffolding blocks are so handy. I said this in my end Terraform video, but you know, when you're working with something that requires you to go really high up, higher than a person can jump, having scaffolding there is so handy. Like if you want to get to these corners, it's really handy being able to scaffold over there. And just, yeah, pro tips with Toycat, if you ever want to get to blocks that are far away, use scaffolding. Scaffolding seems like a silly block on the surface. It seems like it might be a lot of effort to get to the, you know, get the bamboo you need, but it's 100% worth it by the end. And you can always place blocks on the end of scaffolding if you need to go even further than scaffolding can. I love it, and you can see looking around here, I've placed it everywhere. Makes it look even messier, but again, we're pretty close to done now, so that's good. So I have finally finished the roof. It took some real doing, especially to do it in any natural-ish way. And although it's not true natural because we use half slab, you know, gradients, which obviously aren't fine in the wild, I think it looks at least, I think it looks natural. You can disagree with me on that one. I even added a little thing in the ceiling. And yeah, now we've finished the bones of the project. It's technically finished right now, but there's a few touches I want to add here and there, such as, for instance, if you look over here, there's like a big hole in there. I could just fill that up with make it look like a cave, but what I kind of want to do is add some glass and make it a window into the Nether, because all of this will look natural-ish, but I want to have a window to the Nether so you know, yeah, we really are in the Nether. It's a scary, weird time. Also, this big thing up here, as you can see, I'm just going to get rid of it. I've decided, like, as Netherrack, it wasn't very pretty, but I kind of wanted to keep it. But honestly, this isn't meant to look perfectly like Netherrack, and it just looks bad. It's not grass, it's just ugly dirt. So we're going to remove all of this. We're going to remove the last few scaffolds. We're going to make some windows here and there, and also make a couple of secret changes, and then after those hours of work are done, I'll give you a bit of a world tour. So in like 6 hours for me and 6 seconds for you, you can see my project in. Okay, I have finished everything else in this little, you know, recreation of the overworld. We just have to get those last few slabs in, and I think that's everything. I think after that, it'll be pretty convincing. And yeah, this is a fun little area to go through, but it's not just something that I made because I was goofing around making some fun. The cool thing about this is this actually does have some real use in Minecraft, in my opinion. And in case you're curious as to what that real use actually is, it's the fact that this can take me from the big Nether highway. So this is where my main house, you know my big brick house of the wood on top. And then there's my cave house. So these two things are connected to each other very easily. But now both of these houses, with very little effort, you can run through my overworld Nether, which again, it's going to look fun on the way. But even if you just want to ignore it, you can just run through this area. And then if you go to that cave over there, to that Nether portal, which peeks out through the mountain a little bit to let you know that it's inside. If we go to this little Nether portal, hiding within the cave, this takes us all the way across our Let's Play world. And it takes us into the old, or the TU31 Let's Play, the old new Let's Play, the new old Let's Play, whichever way you want to see that as a fact. But here is, you know, like all of the stuff over here. It takes us 700 blocks in a just under 100 block walk through the overworld, except it's the Nether overworld. And yeah, to me, this is a cool way to link all those things together. It also means that I have access to another, you know, like a Nether fortress, because again, in the same way that this Nether portal is over here. If we want instead of going this way to the very edge over here, we can also take, go through the house. Again, it's just a house in the Nether, but the house in the Nether also is going to eventually, right now it's just a hole in the wall, it's going to eventually have some form of cave system that will lead down to all these wither skeletons, because we have a Nether fortress, a stronghold off the Nether, if you want to call it that instead. But we have one of those just over here, another like 50 blocks this way. Maybe another big mega project should be killing ghast, apparently. But no, another big mega project. It might be fun one day to collect as many beacons as we can, because we have, an ungodly number of shulker boxes. Maybe we should get an ungodly number of beacons. Again, that's something we can work on in the future if we want to. But yeah, for now, we have ourselves a giant thing in the Nether. It looks a bit weird from the outside, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it looks like a bit of a mess, but, I would argue the Nether's so messy that anything you put there is an improvement. And then, yeah, if you just break in one block, you can head inside. And although it breaks the illusion a little bit to have to do that, it is still kind of cool that, like, oh yeah, this enclosed area, this whole place, which took an ungodly amount of time to get all the stone, to make it into half slabs, to make stuff like that, to get all this dirt, to get all this stuff here, and yeah, it was a pretty fun build all in all. So it took around a month of spending, almost every evening working here and there on the project, but seeing the end result, seeing it side by side with where we started, it's really, really quite a fun thing to see that we took a patch of what is otherwise just boring red Nether, the same everywhere, same generic, generation, and made it into something special. This is what I really enjoy in Minecraft. This is what I really enjoy in these big survival projects, and I hope it's something that inspires you to do something similar of your own volition. If it does, please do send me any screenshots you do have, or any progress pictures, because I like to see those as well, or post them on the subreddit at r/IBXToyCat. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed this big survival project. If you want to see more of these in the future, because again, every now and then I just decide to work on something big, and if you want to see the next one, you can turn on notifications so you can guarantee you'll be one of the first to see it daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it in some way, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.